We have a fairly strict interview process to onboard a new builder. There's a lot of information I provide to them that really drills down into the requirements of SDA, getting that final as-built certification, which is absolutely vital. We have a panel of selected builders that have gone through that process and have proven themselves capable of supplying these homes. It's not easy, it's very exact. Things cannot be a millimetre off or it will not pass and it will not be compliant. So when it comes to sourcing a builder, the strict criteria really has to be met. The land required for SDA properties is very specific and it has a very specific criteria that has to be met. So over the years we've developed a checklist that every piece of land that we look at has to go through, and that determines frontages, slopes, council requirements, overlays, state planning requirements. All of that is taken into consideration before we package up a block of land with a specific house design from SDA Smart Homes. We're really trying to find land on the Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast in Queensland. They're our main focus areas at the minute, and that's because we know that there's really high tenant demand in those areas and quite low supply. Look, you can look at the NDIS data to determine demand. That's obviously one of the main sources that SDA providers such as ourselves use. We also do rely a lot on the feedback that we get directly from the 50 plus SIL providers that we already work with, and the tenant inquiries that come through to us. They don't always inquire on a specific property, they may generally ask for an area, and we know that the Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast are areas that are regularly mentioned by participants for housing. NDIS participants really want to live in the same locations that anyone else would want to live. Yeah, other factors about the location that come into play that we've noticed over the last sort of 7 years are the vicinity to hospitals, main arterial roads, public transport, shopping. The closer the participant can be to all of those facilities and the people that are providing their supports in the home, the easier it is and the less expensive it is for them to transport to and from. SDA certification is done by a completely independent third party, and that's very clearly stipulated in the SDA rules that that's how it has to be. We work with 1 or 2 different SDA certifiers that know our product and know our builders really well. We've been working with them for over the past 5 years really closely to make sure, right from the design stage, making sure that the property's being built compliantly the whole way through, and then they come and do an as-built inspection at the end. Having them do those checks and balances all the way through the job really help safeguard the project at the end. So we have future-proofed the investments with our own exclusive technology, which is called Aerial Care. Pilot's currently happening as we speak. This has been in development for the last 4 years. It's going to be in the home for the life cycle of the house, really helping with the independence of the participants and the ease in which the support services that are operating in the home can support that individual. We also future-proof the property by taking on board feedback that we get directly from the SILs and the participants about designs and inclusions. We really take that seriously and try to incorporate that wherever we possibly can. If one person's asking for it, there's a good chance others will as well. And having the best home helps ensure that the participants are going to move in and stay and be happy for the long term.